There are a few critical things that you need to know about the USTC Repeg. Let's go over what they are and why they are so important. So first off, why do you need to know what we're about to discuss? Well, we need to know this because the Ziggy proposal, the proposal to repeg UST, is set to pass in a couple days. This is because currently there's about 900 billion Terra Luna Classic staked, which means to get 51% control or the majority vote, we need roughly 460 billion votes yes. We're currently sitting at 491 billion, so unless people change their vote from yes to no, this is going to pass. This repeg proposal talks a lot about implementing different codes, setting up new functionality, getting consensus and confirmation from developers, getting exchanges to agree upon this. There's a lot of different things, but you might be wondering, okay, so when is this going to happen? Okay, well, the first thing that we can expect to actually be done from this proposal is obtain developer consensus. Now, this would be going to basically the L1 task force, the L1 dev team, and saying, hey, this is the plan. Will you guys actually accept this code into the full version of the code? Will you accept the changes that are going to be made into the code? Now, this should be done ideally before March, so in roughly about a month, we can expect to have this happen. However, when we look at some of the other deadlines, so for example, obtain cross-market consensus, we can see that this is due on March 27th, 2024, so just over a year out from now. Test and implement the ERM, some new mechanisms that they're making, again, March 27th, 2024. And if we scroll down to the bottom, we can see that the deadlines have been given as March 27, 2024, because the rewards in the Oracle pool from the crash will expire by then, which will be roughly around that May time. So it's important to note this May 27th, 2024 date, because it's not like this is necessarily going to be implemented tomorrow, next month. There's a lot of things that need to be done. A lot of people need to agree upon this proposal, and then it can continue to move forward through the different stages. That also doesn't mean it's going to necessarily take until May 27th, 2024 for this to be ready. It might be ready earlier, but it's important for us to set this frame of reference that it should be quite a while until this is actually ready to go. If you guys are getting value out of this video, please consider turning on your notifications down below so you don't miss another video just like this. Now, the next major concern that we need to really address here would be regarding the fact that this is actually a signaling proposal. So this is kind of a small but really important distinction. A signaling proposal means that there is no community spend, there is no code implemented, this is not final. What this does instead is signals to the community, to other people that are going to be involved in this, developers, exchanges, everyone. It lets them know as a community, do we want to pursue this, yes or no? Should we take this seriously, yes or no? That way, Duncan, the person who made this proposal, can go to the developers, can go to the exchange and say, hey, the community voted on this. This is something they want to pursue. What are your thoughts on this, CZ Binance? What are your thoughts on this one, L1 Task Force? And you can get those inputs and different ideas and improvements to this proposal. That way we can evolve this proposal over time and get something final that will be the final code eventually. And then when that happens, when we want to actually implement the final code that Duncan's going to make, that would then require another proposal to actually put that into place. The same is true if there's any spending needed, which is probably pretty likely because we are most likely going to want to have this code reviewed by multiple people, outside sources. That's going to cost money. We're probably going to want to have multiple people review some of the different scenarios, do some analytical research on how this could play out potentially. That'll cost some money. And so we'll have to approve those different proposals as we go along. But this sets kind of the framework or the pathway for us to move forward with this proposal. Now, the next major thing for us to discuss is that there are a lot of risks behind this proposal that you need to be aware of. However, it definitely seems the community is focused more on the excitement aspect of it. We can see right now when we look at USTC, it's up right now over 11% on the day with the news that this proposal is set to pass in a couple days. It is interesting seeing how many people are willing to overlook some of the major risk factors. And to be fair, this proposal is in the early stage. This is a signaling proposal. Some of these risk factors could be worked out. We could find solutions to mitigate some of these risks as we go along, as the code is improved, as we get input from the developers and exchanges. But Crypto King, for example, he put up a poll to ask people on Twitter, do we just YOLO or do we take the safe option in regards to this proposal? And a lot of people voted to YOLO. They voted, yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for a repeg. Yes, it has a lot of risk, but let's give it a try. What's the point in having USDC if we don't take the risk to try and get back to that $1 repeg? So hopefully as this proposal evolves over time, we can see the risk decrease dramatically, and hopefully we can get a lot of answers and solutions to these different potential problems. That way, as Terra Luna Classic community, we don't take on a major risk, because as it stands right now, with the current form of this proposal, there are risks that could be significant enough that could make Terra Luna Classic collapse, could make USTC value dramatically decrease. But again, hopefully we can come up with some solutions. And this could really help Terra Luna Classic hit 1 cent or even $1. And if you want to know the truth behind what it would take to see a 1 cent Terra Luna Classic, check out this video up here, and I'll catch you all in the next one.